Preparation video. Yeah, so I've got a canvas here, which I put some grey gesso on. It's a 24 by 18 or 18 by 24. So we got our 24 by 18 canvas, and it's a canvas that I've already painted on before. I've put a grey gesso on there, and you can paint acrylic on top of acrylic, but you can't paint acrylic on top of oils. Don't forget, because it'll flake. You can paint oils on top of acrylic, that's not a problem. Anyway, so I've put one coat of gesso on there. I've got a little bit of a sanding block. Very handy things to have in the studio. And you just go over the surface of your canvas, getting any roughness off, take any blemishes away. And then checking that with the back of your hand, because you don't want to touch it with your fingers because of grease spots. And then what I do is I get a little brush. There we go. I got a Hake brush here, and I just take off any dust because I don't want to trap any dust particles. Any brush will do, but just make sure it's a nice soft brush. There we are. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some gesso. Now you can buy shop made gesso. You can make your own gesso. Please check the iCards by there. And I'm going to put a little bit of gesso, just a touch of gesso in my little wax pot like that. Now why do I use gesso? Because my particular gesso is homemade, and it's got chalk in it, basically calcium carbonate chalk, and I like a nice rough texture, and I find that the acrylic paint runs a lot smoother over gesso than it does just an ordinary prime canvas that you can buy from the shop, which is sprayed on with a sealer. It's not actually gesso. So unless you buy the most expensive canvases that are primed with gesso, read the back of them, read on the label what they're actually primed with. That's very important. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a brush to apply this gesso. I'm going to use a 1-inch brush. I'm going to get some ultramarine blue, and I'm just going to tip the tip of my brush on the ultramarine blue like that. I'm just going to put a couple of spots just around on the canvas like that, and then I'm going to go straight into my gesso with a brush that's already got the blue on it, doesn't matter. And then I'm just going to put my gesso on, and this is called a ground. When he throws his paint all over the floor and this is called a ground. So what I want is a nice light colour blue on my canvas. There we go. So once it starts to drag, just pick up a little bit more gesso and just throw that in place like that. And then you continue doing that all over your surface. You can have it in darker in some areas and lighter in some areas, depending on what you want to paint. I'm going to be painting a seascape, so it doesn't really matter on this particular one. As long as I got a little bit of blue in there, that's all I'm interested in. So thank you very much for joining me on this tip video and explaining to you a little bit on what to do with gesso. If you want to know a little bit more about gesso, just click the iCards there. There's little videos in there. There's a little circle there with an eye in it on an iPhone and iOS devices. iOS devices. And just click those videos or look in the descriptions, and that'll take you into some more videos on gesso and grounds. It's been a long day. Okay, thank you very much. I'll see you on the actual video of this. Again, that's in the iClouds as well. Hey, welcome, thanks for stopping by. It's time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush, have a great time. And don't forget to click subscribe. Visit clive5art.co.uk.